The ReHumanizing Project is a project created to get people thinking outside the limitations of their own self-worth, as well as the worth of others around them. An attempt to knock down the wall we all inherently build between ourselves and our surrounding neighbors. Labeling is often used as a defense mechanism in order to separate ourselves from certain people or groups of people. This project is working on getting people to see themselves and their surrounding community as just that, people. We are not made up of the insignificant words we use to build up our metaphorical walls. We're made up of the same matter used to create every living human. We are human, and we are all connected in that sense.
So Alice, I know at first you were a little bit nervous, but how did you feel after?
I got used to it, and I realized, like you guys said, that people are far more afraid of us than they are, than like we are of them.
Like reptiles.
Like reptiles.
Like so many people, 90% of them just tried to avert their eyes and walk past, or would just intentionally not go past us to avoid, like, I don't know.
Yeah, avoid being associated with us.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was 100% of the reaction we were going to get, was those 90% that was like, no. But we got a couple people that one woman actually said, thank you guys for doing this, thank you. And someone else came up.
That was amazing.
Yeah, and right in the middle of it, she was like, what are you guys doing? And what is this? And she was like, she actually asked us if we wanted donations.
She asked us what human meant.
Yeah, what does human mean? I don't know, what does human mean? That'll be our next project. Right?
Yeah,
human.
In a dream, I was a werewolf. My soul was filled with crystal light. Lavender ribbons of rain sang, ridding my heart of...
Like riding the light rail and riding public transit is oftentimes a really, really dead space. And I think it was cool that we did it in that place because usually people are so brain dead, they're just trying to get like to work or from work. And it's just this time when they're like waving and trying not to make eye contact with people. But then we could have stimulated them in a way by doing what we did. And even people who didn't interact with us, we could see them on the train. And sometimes they would wave, and sometimes we could see their reactions in their eyes and in their faces.
Sky blinding, crumbling walls never sweep away my memories of children's things, a young mother's love before the yearning song of flesh on flesh, young hearts burst open, wounds bleed fresh, a young brother skinny and tall.
I made eye contact with someone for a really long time, and you don't normally do that on a public transportation situation, but I did. It felt good, like right now. Don't blink. I'm watching you. All right.
Well, I'm pretty sure our group knew that we were going to do some sort of performance piece because look at us. Come on now. So then it was just brainstorming, and eventually I sort of had an idea that it's not the most original idea, you know, an attack on labels that we give ourselves, but, you know, as long as you execute it. So we got together and sort of thought about how we could do this project on labels and the labels that we give ourselves, and how we do that, the labels we give others, negative labels.
Round and
lot of meeting about where we should do it, how we should do it, how we can do it legally without getting in trouble in public spaces. So we sort of settled for definitely Metro Transit and then the light rail, and we purposely chose a pretty busy light rail station, which is the one by the Metrodome. And it's really interesting because our project is really trying, our community art, public art project is really trying to break down the barriers and get to a more personal level from person to person. And we were doing it in a place where that's really not, even though there's so many people, no one's connecting. Everyone's really, really separated. And doing performance art in the middle of that makes everyone else even more alienated and sort of separated. So the challenge was, how do we connect with people and get people to connect with us while still creating something that generally turns people off? And I think we were pretty successful in those efforts. I actually had one woman come up to us and really thank us for what we were doing, and she told us her story pretty quick about how she had gone through a lot and how sometimes she felt like she just wasn't even, couldn't even consider herself a person because she had gone through so much, and she got through it and moved on, and her life is great now, and she just was completely inspired and thanked us and offered us money. Yeah.
Hey, you kids, what are you doing? You can't be here. Get out, I'm gonna have you arrested. You can't change the world. You can't change the world. Oh no, they have a taser, run!